following Donald Trump's tweet arguing that maybe we should postpone the election due to what he claims would be voter fraud, something that is completely unsubstantiated, has been debunked multiple times. There have been some Republicans who have spoken out and disagreed with Trump, which shouldn't be a big deal, but in the Trump era absolutely is a big deal because so many of them have been absolutely cowardly in checking Trump, even if they're in Congress, and they should be a check and a balance to his power. Now, one of those Republican representatives is Adam Kinzinger, who said the following: reminder, election dates are set by Congress, and I will oppose any attempts to delay the 2020 election. Now, I shouldn't feel more relief when I see Republicans push back against Trump, but I do feel relief. And the reason why is because if you only rely on Democrats to prevent Trump from doing something unconstitutional, then he's gonna do something unconstitutional. There's essentially no check to his power. With Republicans speaking out, there's a glimmer of hope, but I still don't think that we should get overly confident about this. I think we should take Trump's threats seriously. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell also chimed in. According to one tweet, Mitch McConnell has told station WNKY in Kentucky, quote, "Never in the history of the country, through wars and depressions and the Civil War, have we ever not had a federally scheduled election on time, and we'll find a way to do that again this November 3rd. Now, Stuart Varney from Fox News is, of course, a Trump loyalist, a Trump supporter. And it is interesting to witness his evolution on this issue when you consider his commentary on postponing the election in April to what he's saying today. Let's take a quick look at that.
Joe Biden making a 2020 prediction. He thinks President Trump is going to push back the election. What's that about? Pay attention to the last sentence. Delay the election until people can properly, securely, and safely vote. Comment please, Senator John Barrasso, Republican from Wyoming. Delay the vote? What do you say, Mr. Senator? I do apologize for interrupting you, but if we have mail-in balloting the way it's scheduled now, there is absolutely no way you will get an election result on election night or even in the first few days. That means confusion and endless challenges. That is a mess. What do you think? Delay the election? You can't start counting mail-in ballots until the day of the election. And in some places, you can't start counting until you've checked every mail-in ballot for the right postmark. I mean, it's a mess, Senator.
So what? I mean, that was such a dumb argument. Oh, we won't know the final results on the night of the election. It is just going to be a mess. So maybe we should just postpone it indefinitely and do away with our democracy. What do you say, John Barrasso? So what did John Barrasso say? Let's take a look.
Delay the vote? What do you say, Mr. Senator?
Well, I think we're going to vote on election day, and the lead up to election day, it'll be a secure election, and we will, if I can have anything to do with it, we will re-elect Donald Trump president of the United States.
Mr. Senator, I do apologize for interrupting you, but if we have mail-in balloting the way it's scheduled now, there is absolutely no way you will get an election result on election night or even in the first few days. That means confusion and endless challenges. That is a mess. What do you think? Delay the election?
No, we're not going to delay the election, Stuart. We're going to have the election completed and voting completed by election day. It's going to take a while to get all the votes counted, I am certain. We need to, though, continue to do this as we do state by state. We may not know on election night the balance of the House of Representatives or the Senate or the presidency, but we will not delay the elections.
So Aida, John Barrasso is a Republican senator. And so, if I heard a Democrat say that to Stuart Varney, I'd be like, okay, great, what are you gonna do? But it is important to have bipartisan support to make sure that we have the election on the date that it's scheduled for. But I wanted to get your thoughts. Do you feel any sense of relief hearing Republicans say this? Or do you think that, like with other issues, they might change their tune later?
I don't feel any relief hearing anything that comes out of the mouths of practically the majority of the people in Washington. Across the aisle right now. I just think there's a lot of lip service. What I will say to you is that I think this is very interesting. The people who are super patriotic and love Donald Trump and hate communist countries and hate authoritarian governments love Donald Trump, who's Putin's boy. And so when he employs the behaviors of said dictators of other countries who he is friends with, nobody seems alarmed. What kind of patriotism is this? Like, what kind of people are you who say you are fighting for your constitution, but when the president of the country, who you continue to, run behind like little puppies, says things that do not sound familiar to our democracy, you roll with it? What is it that you think you're going to get at the end? And then when you think about these politicians, these pundits, or I don't even know if they're real journalists, who are like, always pumping the thumping, the trumping, the thumping, trumping, whatever I call it. I got a new name for it every week because I can't stand none of them. It's either what has he promised you, like what are you getting paid, or what does he have on you? Because that's the kind of business that Donald Trump has always done. I don't think it's real loyalty. I think it's either they're negotiable, or they're afraid, like, because this whole, it seems preposterous when you look about our American government and how far gone we are, how far away we are from order, decency, respect. What our government is supposed to be, what other countries have tried to model their governments after, because we're supposed to be the leaders of the free world, the countries that that everyone envies, that people swim across waters and run across borders for. And it's just like, we are really here having this conversation right now, Anna. The president is trying to delay the election because he's not doing well, because he's an entitled, privileged, in just temper tantrum driven toddler, and he has the hands to prove it. So he is a toddler that's always employing this behavior of privilege and just disgusting, he's so spoiled, man. He's like a spoiled brat. And when he doesn't get what he wants to break the rules. This is how our country is being ran, by a gigantic toddler with little hands. Gets mad when he doesn't get his way, and then he says, well, I'm gonna change the rules. I need to change the rules. And that's what you want running your country? I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are, what you subscribe to, whether you are pro-life, pro-choice, you believe in Jesus or you don't. That's what you want running your country? I am scared for the people, the children, because these are the adults that they're looking at. This is embarrassing.
Yeah, I mean, look, Donald Trump has accelerated the dismantling of our civil liberties and our constitutional rights. And so, and it is incredible what we do abroad under like the false premise of protecting democracy. One of the more recent examples of that, and even though it hasn't been confirmed, I have reason to believe that the United States was behind the coup that overthrew Evo Morales in Bolivia just recently, right? And the argument was, oh, well, he wanted to serve past the term, and even people on the left were buying that ridiculous argument. And guess what happened in Bolivia? The right wing is in charge now. They are unbelievably cruel and murderous to natives in Bolivia. And it's just absolute chaos in that country. And we've done that to multiple countries around the world, right? That happened under the Trump administration. But it is important to mention that we have to hold all of our presidents, whether they're Democrats or Republicans, accountable for violating the rights of Americans and the rights of people abroad. I mean, Obama dropped a drone strike on a US citizen, Anwar al-Awlaki. And look, he might have been a bad guy, but he has the right to due process. And following that, we decided to murder his 16-year-old son as well. So we're not having a discussion about whether he was a bad guy, but we are having a discussion about whether or not we actually value and want to protect our constitutional rights. And so if you think that it's okay under one president because you happen to be part of that president's party And just understand that that opens the door for the next president to come in. The next president can be Donald Trump or worse, and they'll go even further. And that's what we're experiencing right now in the United States. It's absolutely hideous. It's terrifying. And I think you're right in being worried and not feeling any portion of relief or any bit of relief. But at the same time, I would feel far worse if it was just Democrats speaking out, because I've lost my faith in them actually holding Trump accountable. When I see what's happening to protesters right now and how it continues to happen day in, day out in Portland, it doesn't give me a lot of faith in the Democratic Party, just keeping it real.
The problem in this country is that we've become so political party driven that we've forgotten the people. We're so busy being, loyal and affiliated with political parties that we're no longer thinking about, what the policies are that affect everyday people. And that's why they are attacking our rules and our laws, because we're so focused on hating Republicans and Democrats, and you're this and you liberals this and you conservatives that. While we're distracted doing that, they are attacking our freedoms.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.